Okay, so we're gonna go over this list that I promise you nobody is on.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to teach y'all on this video a secret list that nobody else is pulling. Nobody else has this data. So when you go and pull this list and have your co-callers or yourself are co-calling and you're calling this list, nobody else is going to be calling this list because it's exclusive. Nobody else is, you're not going to see this on YouTube besides on this YouTube channel right now. So what it pretty much is it's a driving for dollars list without you actually having to go out and drive for dollars. Driving for dollars is like the best list that you can be on because nobody else is going to be on that list. It's pretty much exclusivity. You have to go out, go into the streets and literally look at a distressed property and put that into your system. Most people aren't doing that. Most people are just pulling broad data like a pre-foreclosure list, divorce list, all that type of stuff. Not too many people are driving for dollars, but literally, this is a list where you can drive for dollars without actually driving for dollars. And you're going to see what I mean here in the video. This is a call that I did, a bonus call that I did for one of my students in the Blueprint Mastery Program. If you're interested in that, go to joinbprei.com. But let's get you onto this list that absolutely nobody else is on. Let's get into it.
This is a list where pretty much you're able to get somebody else to drive for dollars for you without actually having to drive for dollars. Like you actually have to hire somebody to go out in the streets or do virtually driving for dollars. You literally already have somebody driving for dollars for you. So I'm going to share my screen really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So there's this guy that goes around every single city in town. Okay. Like my little house here. There's this guy over here, and he drives around in his car, and we call him the tax assessor. Okay. His job is to figure out what the value of this property is. So that's his job. He goes around every single year and he says, hey, I need to figure out what the value of every single property is. Okay. And when he does that, he comes up with two different valuations. Okay. So he comes up with one total valuation, and it's called the total assessed value. Okay. The reason why he does this is because every person who owns property like this has to pay taxes. Right?
Yep.
And when they pay taxes, they have to pay based on some sort of value. So this guy's job is to go out to every single property and find out what this number is up here. That way the city knows exactly how to tax these people, right? Because the city would have no idea how to tax somebody who owns this property if they did not know what this property is worth. So they send out their guy here, who is a tax assessor, to figure out what this property is worth. And the way that this guy figures out what this property is worth is he looks at two different things. He looks at something called the land value and something called the improvement value. Okay. Now, let's say this is the land. So the land value is solely just the valuation of the piece of land, not the property itself. So we're not talking about this here. We're just solely talking about the piece of land right here. If this piece of property was never here, what would this piece of land be worth? So he goes out and he assesses what that land would be worth.
Land value.
Exactly, without the actual property being on the actual land. Okay. So that's what the land value is. Fairly simple. Improvement value. The improvement value is this thing. It is the walls, it is the roof, it's the door, it's the windows, it's the foundation. It's every single thing that got built on this piece of land. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what the what improvements have been built on this piece of land, right? Like what wood structures, what are the structures that have been built? He gets the valuation of that specific structure. Okay. And then what he does is he adds these two together, the land value and the improvement value, and he comes up with a total assessed value. Okay. And then here's how it works. Let's just say he
That improvement value will be all from outside, right? There's nothing from inside.
pretty much, yeah. Like they get a
What?
rough idea. They don't go inside the property. They just go outside of the property and assume exactly what everything, the contents inside, the walls, the roof, exactly what the improvement looks like. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So they're not going inside and doing a full-blown inspection like you would have if you sold the property or something like that to a retail buyer, but they're
Mhm.
simply driving by, and I'll show you a picture of exactly what it looks like and exactly what they do. But they'll go out to the property and they'll take a picture of the property and they'll assess pretty much the condition of that property. But they're not going in,
Property.
they're not checking like the heating system.
Inside.
You see what I mean? Because a lot of these properties they can't even get in. A lot of these properties they're vacant and they're locked,
Mhm.
and nobody's even around to let them in. Right? So they got to go
Yep.
outside and they got to take a picture of the outside and figure out what they think the actual structure is worth, right? So that's what they
Okay.
do. They figure out what this whole entire structure is worth. Good question. Okay. So let's just say in this case, homeboy goes over here and he says, the land value is $100,000 and the improvement value is $150,000. Okay. He would have a
Mhm.
total assessed value. So we'll call this total assessed value. In this case of what?
250.
$250,000. So the tax assessor brings this number and he sends this over to the town. And now the town says, hey, Mike, I see you own this property right here. We had our guy go out there and he said, the total assessed value is $250,000. I'm going to charge you a certain amount on that money. On that money every single year. So let's just call it, and every single city is different. So what you got to do in order to figure out this number, this is a tip for anybody trying to figure out if they don't have access to figure out what the taxes are, the property taxes I'm talking about, the
Yep.
property taxes are on a house. They can literally go into the city, look at the property card, figure out what the total assessed value is, and then go to the city's website and figure out how much that city charges against the total assessed value. Let's just call it 1%.
Mhm.
It's usually somewhere between like 1% and 2%. Okay. So let's just call it 1% to keep it super, super simple. So if it was 1%, let's just say this is in, Atlanta, Georgia, and they're called, I'm just spitballing numbers and spitballing a place, but let's just call it Atlanta, Georgia. Let's just say Atlanta, Georgia is the place that we're talking about. The guy came out and assessed the property at 250,000 and Atlanta charges 1%. What would the taxes be every single year?
$2,500.
Mm-hmm. So the taxes here for a year would be $2,500. Okay. Now we got to figure out if you're underwriting a deal, and I'm going a little bit more in depth, and I'll stop and get back to what we're getting to right after this. But if we're going into like underwriting to figure out how much we got to pay in taxes per month, what do you think you'd divide this number by?
12.
12, right? And if we do the math, about 208.
Just a second. 208. Yeah.
Around $208 is what you would pay per month for that specific property. Every single month in property taxes. Okay. So now that we have an idea of this, we're able to understand why we're about to do the things that we're going to do. Just to give you a little bit more information, this improvement value is based off of the condition of this property in square foot.
Okay.
So what is the condition, the square foot, and the condition of the actual structure of the house? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so this is a property that I'm currently fixing flipping at the moment. We go here.
The one
details.
that you acquired last week, or is it
No, this is one that I'm doing, that I'm currently in. It's
Okay.
under renovation at the moment.
currently? Okay.
But if we go to property card over here, see, this is the picture of the property. You'll see right here, this market is a little bit different than Bloomfield.
Mm-hmm.
Building. So they call this building, not the improvement, but they call it building. If you look on PropStream, they will call it the building.
Assessed with. Oh, okay.
So this is what the tax assessor did. He went out and he appraised the land at $107,000, and he also appraised the building at $159,000. So this is the improvement right here. Are you following me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It says building, but in this case, building means improvement, meaning like the actual structure of this particular property they are saying is worth $159,000. And they're talking about the siding, the windows, the roof, all that type of stuff, the actual structure itself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a cool thing. What we do, we take this information and we go over to PropStream, and let's just say we want to go to Brockton, Massachusetts. We come over here to filter. Now, I like to filter these things out completely before I go ahead and pick the type of list that I'm going on. So owner occupied doesn't really matter to me unless I'm doing a vacant only, it doesn't really matter to me, the occupancy. But I do like to classify these things. If I'm just going after residential, I'm going to click residential. I'm going to click single families if that's all I'm going after. Let's, for the sake of example right now, let's just go over single families. Maybe I'm trying to do some sort of square footage. I don't want a property over 2,500 square feet or something like that. I'm not going to go there for right now. I'm going to circle back to that. For the actual list, I'm just talking about characteristics before I go ahead and pull the type of list. On market, I always put no. I don't want any on market properties in our list. Ownership info, I'll come here and do individual. That way it's not an LLC. A lot of the times, the minimum I want somebody to own a property is maybe 5 years. Okay. And those are like pretty much the general characteristics that I feel.
General, yeah.
Exactly. Before I go ahead and I pull any type of list, like a pre-foreclosure, divorce, or anything like that. That is just a general thing that I do. Okay. Now, what we're doing after just going over the improvement values and the land values, we are going to have the tax assessor drive for dollars for us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So remember the two things that the tax assessor does the improvement value off of: the land itself. I mean, no.
And the building.
All right. The improvement value is off of the condition of the property, and what else? Do you remember? So
condition, yeah, but
the actual structure of the property, the improvement value, he bases it off of two things: the condition and what else?
location, no.
The structure of it, how big it is,
Structure.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So like
square feet and the condition.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. So what we have to do here is we have to go filter out those two. Okay, so the first thing that I do, and it's going to be tedious, but it's going to be a list that nobody else is on. Okay. So I like to do it in 100 square feet increments. Why would I do that? Is because if I just pulled the improvement values of, every 1,000 to 2,000 square feet, it's not going to be correct. Like, it's not going to be accurate, right?
Yep.
Because the properties that are in bad condition, but our 2,000 square feet might be worth more improvement value wise than one that's only 1,000 square feet, but in decent condition. Are you following me?
Yep.
And the goal here is to get somebody to drive for dollars for us, essentially. So our goal is to find the distressed homes that look all run down. Okay. So we come here and what we'll do is we'll first off, building size, square feet. We'll do it every 1,000 square feet. So let's go 1,000 to 1,100. Okay, so if we come back out here, we see that single families in Brockton that are somewhere between 1,000 and 1,100 square feet, there's about 1,000 of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You see all these building size, 1,000 to 1,100 square feet.
Yep.
All these
Yep.
things that we just did. Now we got to go figure out.
Yep.
I like to be at the bottom 10% of these properties for evaluation. Are you following me?
Okay.
For the
Yep.
improvement value. So I want to find out of all 1,000 of these, what are the bottom 10%?
Bottom.
Exactly. What are the bottom 10% that are a piece of crap, right? Out of 1,000 of these properties, you know, there's 900 of them that are in better condition than the bottom 100. I'm trying to figure out the bottom 100 improvement value. Why would I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Is because that is going to be the bottom 100 of, you know, the properties that are in the worst condition. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I come down here to valuation. Actually, before I do that, I take into account this. This is why it's kind of tedious, because you got to do it by every 100 square feet and you got to keep looking back at this. But if I'm looking for 10%, right, of this 1,000, what do I need to get this number to?
$100.
Yeah, I need to get I need to get this number to 100. So I got to come down here and I got to start playing with this. Hold on, let me. Oh gosh, why does the prop stream do this? Very annoying.
Can you reduce the zoom size of the screen so the text will be?
I
Can
don't
you
know why
reduce the text size and zoom out a little, reduce the text size, edit or view, zoom out. You need to zoom out a little. Just go on top, the Safari,
Yep.
edit or view, and see where you can zoom out. View, just try view. Zoom out, yep.
Love it. You
Now
are
try.
freaking genius. You know how long I've been trying to figure this out? Oh my
It's
gosh.
just you need to reduce the text size. Yeah.
Honestly, it's so annoying. I don't know why PropStream does this. It's like, why can't I just scroll down to the whole entire thing?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, now that you see down here, the total assessed improvement value, right? Remember, to circle back, we got to get this number down to 100.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to get this number down to 100. So let's start doing, we want to mess with the max, right? So let's just start out. And you got to have a pulse of this, of your market, right? Boom. So only 3 properties.
3.
I did $150,000. So I need to start playing with this a little bit. I'm going to bump this up to maybe 70. Now we're getting somewhere. You see what I'm doing here?
Got it. Oh, you went 2 million. Okay, that looks like, I think you can go up to 200,000 and you have enough number. 200,000 will be good, I believe. Yeah. There you got your 100.
You are a genius. Okay. So now that I see these, right? This is all the single families from 1,000 to 1,100 square feet, not on the market. They've been owned for 5 years or more. An individual owns these, not an LLC. It's residential. And we have the lowest of the improvement values of all of the single families from 1,000 to 1,100 square feet. The lowest 10%.
Lowest
Right?
10%. You got it.
So all these properties right here are properties that definitely need some love because they're in the improvement value is very low compared to all the other ones that are similar square feet. Okay, maybe we can even look at one. Let's see this one.
Yep. Old houses.
Yep, super old. Right, this thing's super outdated. So you literally pretty much just got the assessor to drive for dollars for you. You following me?
I did. It's easy.
So then what you do is all you do is you come back here and you keep filtering these. You got to add these, obviously. Boom, add them to a list. You know, create new list, call this Brockton low improvement.
Lowest, I can't believe you can do lowest.
Lowest.
And you can put a square feet also to remember. That will be great.
There you go. 1,000.
1,000 to 1,100. That's it. Now you know it's just a square feet and lowest.
Exactly. Boom. And now you've added all those.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Okay. And now you just go back and you filter out. You start toggling with these. First off, you want to clear this thing back out. You want to come back up here to valuation. Where are we at? Now you want to come back to property characteristics, and now you want to go from 1,100 to 2,000.
So keep on playing with square feet.
Keep
That's
on
it.
exactly. Keep on playing with the square feet. And boom, now look how many are here. There's a lot of them. Oh no, I apologize. Not 2,000, 1,200. I was like, damn, that was a lot of them. Right? So now it's
I mean, if you have this, yep.
so
You
now
need
it's
to
847. So now we got to get somewhere around the 84 range, right? And we go back and we do the same exact thing. We come here to valuation, the max. Now that we know, like the last one was 2,000 something, 200,000 something, let's start off with maybe 220. Remember, we need to get back to 84.
again, I think 200,000 will be the best.
Yep. Probably around there, 200. Boom, maybe 205. See, now
You got it.
Now we're just messing with it.
Exactly.
You see what I mean?
10%, yep.
Older, outdated house. Any questions you got?
No, this is pretty straightforward.